Tax Solutions Now is a complimentary referral service that connects callers to companies that provide tax services.
Money matters. If you owe thousands in back taxes to the IRS, how much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I paid less than I owe.
That's right, money matters. So call Tax Solutions Now and get the IRS off your back. Since 2014, Tax Solutions Now has been a leader in the tax resolution industry. Remove wage garnishments, property liens, fines, and penalties. Qualify for the Fresh Start program or even uncollectible status. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I owed the IRS over $10,000. I paid a fraction of what I owed.
Call now to reduce or even eliminate your back taxes.
I called Tax Solutions Now and got the IRS off my back. Thanks. You saved us a ton of money.
Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you? Call now and find out.
Call 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And in this week's book report, we've got the usual suspects. We've got states reporting their sports betting numbers. We've got even some state-by-state comparisons in terms of the year 2020 because we are still getting numbers for December 2020, so everyone's also reporting their fiscal years.
Great. I always like the year-long numbers. I always want to see where everyone fits in this sports betting adventure that we're in.
And we also have the usual suspects with deals and legislations.
Okay.
As always, we're going to talk about a bunch of these. We don't have enough time to talk about everything. If you want to see all the news and notes from this past week, just head on over to Turnpike Sports blog. Go to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button, and you will see all the news and notes, not only of what we just talked about on the air, but also some other things we don't have time to hit. Starting with Nevada, their state numbers.
Okay.
They had $588 million in the state handle for December. That's down 3.5% from November.
Okay.
Revenue of $40.5 million. Taxes of $2.7 million. That's a hold of about just a little under 7%. Mobile handle, which this is the first year they're reporting mobile handle.
Okay.
In Nevada, $352.2 million. That's 59, almost 60% of the total handle in the state. That's actually kind of low compared to a lot of other places.
Yeah, I mean, what is Jersey's like? What, almost 90%, if not over 90%.
Well, again, it's a matter of Nevada still really hasn't waived that in-person requirement yet,
which is ridiculous.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens there. Mobile win rate was about 6.5%. Mobile revenue was $22.75 million. That's about 56% of the total revenue of the state came from the mobile handle.
Mm-hmm.
So not too bad.
Yeah.
And I
mean, considering what we've been through this year in 2020.
What you got to remember, during the lockdown, Nevada didn't report, I think it was April and May, or May and June's numbers. They didn't have any sports betting to report.
Okay.
So they're missing 2 months in all of this, too. When you look at 2020 as a whole here, and some people do look at 2020 as a whole.
Yeah.
The handle for Nevada for the year was $4.28 billion. Compare that with Jersey, which hit $6.02 billion.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mobile handle is an interesting number. $2.42 billion in 2020 for Nevada. New Jersey, $5.53 billion.
Wow. Okay.
Mobile percent of handle for the year in Nevada was 56.5%. New Jersey had almost 92%. I don't mean to laugh,
wow,
but it's just an incredible difference between the two states. New Jersey has gained $1.73 billion in handle on Nevada in the year. They're only trailing Nevada by $775 million in terms of overall handle since PASPA was repealed. So they're slowly catching up, and I think pretty soon they will be passing Nevada.
So in terms of revenue, is New Jersey now the leader?
New Jersey is the leader.
Okay.
They had $792 million in revenue. Nevada, close, $784 million.
Okay.
Second place.
All right.
Colorado, one of the newer markets for sports betting, had another record-breaking month in December for handle for both retail and online. They had a $284 million handle, 23% increase from November of 2020.
Wow, that's a huge increase.
Yeah. Approximately $280 million of it was online.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Hold of 6%. Total taxes in December was $531,000. And your favorite sport was still in the top 5.
Are you kidding me? Really? What?
Table tennis came in,
Geez.
placing 5th with $10.9 million in total bets.
I joke around, but apparently they love their table tennis in Colorado.
I don't get the appeal.
Wow, hey.
But you
Hey,
know
you
what?
enjoy it.
Some people are good. Some people are good at it.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
But I don't get
Do what
it.
makes you money, too.
Yeah, I guess so. But no, it's boy, table tennis and darts. I haven't been able to get into.
Well, for the year 2020, Colorado has $1.185 billion in total wagers. Now that's not a full year.
Yeah, no. What they started
May to December.
Yeah, I was going to say they started in late spring, early summer. What was it? May?
Yeah, May.
Wow.
And they collected $3.4 million in taxes, so that helps that water treatment program or whatever.
Is that what that's for?
That was why they had
That's
that was what the sports betting was tied into.
Good. Well, hey, good for them.
Yep. Moving over into Tennessee, the other newly launched sports betting market.
Tennessee, if I remember, what was that? November?
Yes.
They launched
2 months.
in November.
2 months.
Yeah. Okay.
And we just talked to Brian Pempis recently, and you'll be hearing that interview later on, but in another episode here. But some interesting stuff out of Tennessee. Tennessee Lottery showed that they had $180.9 million in gross wagers, $167 million in gross payouts, and almost $3.1 million in tax revenues from sports betting in December. All three are records. I guess you can call them records. It's only the second month.
Well, look, the numbers are going in the right direction.
For now.
That's what you have to say. It's still a very, very new market, and these numbers look great, and I think it's a sign of good things to come for Tennessee.
Yeah, no, it's actually a very interesting market because they don't have any land-based casino.
Yeah, no,
land-based sports betting.
Tennessee is one of those interesting states where it's all online sports betting. They have no retail sports books. They have no retail casinos. They don't even have online casinos, but there's no casinos whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no casino gambling.
It's just
whatsoever.
online sports betting.
And again, it's a brand new market. I'm sure as things evolve, you're going to start seeing land-based casinos too.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be an interesting. Normally the way gambling markets work is they have their land-based casinos, and then they have their land-based sports books, and then they have their online casinos, and they have their online. I mean, I wonder if Tennessee is going to do it the opposite way. They have their online sports books, which will lead to retail sports books, which will lead to retail casinos. It should be interesting to see if Tennessee evolves like that.
I'd actually prefer seeing online sports betting, what they have right now, online casinos. Then you have the retail.
Sure.
I mean, I'm assuming some of the sports teams there are going to have sports books in their stadiums at some point.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, I
know the Titans have a deal with BetMGM.
I wonder if Tennessee, like you said, it'd be interesting to see if Tennessee goes that route. It's
the reverse
online. Go start at online and go to retail. So who knows?
Moving up to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire
had a record $51.6 million handle in December.
Now that's only DraftKings, right?
DraftKings is the only mobile, yes.
It's the only mobile.
Yes.
Okay.
But they had a record handle of $51.6 million. Sports betting revenue was $4.5 million. That's down 6.3% from the record that was set in November. They had $4.8 million in revenue in November. So the revenue went down, handle went up. Mobile handle was up 12% from $38.9 million in November to $43.7 million in December.
I wonder if it would make a difference, and I'm sure it does, and I don't know how people can even record this or trying to measure it. For the first time in 20 years, the Patriots did not make it into the playoffs. I wonder how big of an effect that's going to have on the NFL betting in New Hampshire. Or do you think they're just going to bet anyway?
They're just going to bet anyway. Because technically there's still a Patriot fan base rooting for Brady.
That's true. I guess.
And you got Gronkowski there too.
Yeah. But the problem is in New Hampshire and all of New England, it seems like half the people are rooting for Brady. The other half are mad that he left. So, I wonder how that translates into sports betting numbers.
Well, you got to remember, that fan base...
I don't even know if you can do a study on that.
That fan base is not a national sports fan base. They're a New England fan base.
Yeah.
Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, that sort of stuff. Even the Revolution has a huge following up there, too. But, again, you got when it came to the Patriots, it was always interesting. There was always a division between who mattered more, Belichick or Brady.
Yeah. It's looking good for the people who are backing Brady right now.
Yeah,
so.
Unfortunately, for some reason, that team has fallen apart up there. And it may just be a matter of getting the right quarterback in there. I don't think Cam Newton was ever a good fit up there.
Well, no. I think they have a very important offseason this offseason.
Yes. Indiana, looking at their entire first full year of sports betting, handled $1.76 billion. Revenue of $136 million. Taxes came in at $13.2 million. $1.77 billion wagered through legal channels makes Indiana the fifth largest regulated market in the U.S.
So they're top five.
Top five.
But
that may change.
Market.
That may change because you got to remember you still have Illinois, which seems to want to report their numbers whenever the hell they want to.
Sure.
So they haven't reported their December numbers, so we don't know exactly where everyone's going to fall once Illinois reports their numbers.
And I'm sure in a couple of months, Michigan is now in play, especially when they launched their online sports betting. So Michigan's going to be a major player in the sports betting market in the U.S.
Well, more than 83% of sports betting in Indiana was conducted online in some way, shape, or form, whether a mobile device or a computer.
Okay.
So congratulations for becoming a top five market right now in Indiana. Speaking of Indiana, they added a bunch of new Super Bowl prop bets to the approved events for sports betting. I think everyone's got this one now, this prop bet. They added player X to retire after game as one of the approved events for sports betting.
You gave me the list of prop bets from William Hill. I have to take a look to see if they have that. That's an interesting prop bet.
Well, you know who they're referring to.
Yeah, I know who they're looking at. But,
although, you know what? You can think of it two ways. Brady or Gronkowski again.
I mean,
you have LaShawn McCoy.
Do they have a list of names that you can choose from? Certainly, Tom Brady.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah,
otherwise you can't.
All right.
But again,
some obscure lineman.
Well, again, you got
or something like
just
that,
on Tampa Bay. Just on Tampa Bay alone, you got Brady, Gronkowski, LaShawn McCoy.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you got three guys right there that have the possibility of retiring. If I would assume one of them is going to retire if they win the Super Bowl.
Well, who knows?
I think maybe Gronkowski may hang around a little bit more.
And certainly Brady said he wants to play another year. So
I think he loves playing for Arians.
Oh yeah, no, that's they just seem to fit. Earlier in the year, it didn't look like they were getting along, but now, boy, they look like they love each other.
Well, it was a matter of getting on the same page with all their offensive plays, they said. So,
yep.
Plus, also, I heard that as the season went on, Brady was able to install some of the things he ran in New England into the offense.
Well, Arians said, he's like another coach, and he let him coach. So I think that's what Brady wanted. He certainly wasn't going to have that in New England with Belichick there.
No. Belichick loves running the show.
Yep.
Virginia has now approved or launched, by the time they said we may actually have more than this. We've got DraftKings, BetMGM, BetRivers, and Caesars William Hill. So there are.
This is early in the week in Super Bowl week.
Yeah,
when we're recording this, so there might be one or two popping up more.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more probably over the week here. But again, but Bet Rivers is.
And Virginia is another one of those states where it's only online sports.
Well,
betting.
I was just going to say, even though they are only online right now, Bet Rivers is also one of the ones tied to the new casino being built in Portsmouth. It's going to be a Bet Rivers.
Great.
Over in Michigan. We just had the launch of sports betting in that market. Detroit Free Press reported that BetMGM had some issues, but that was because of the flood of users. The amount of people that jumped onto that app caused some tech issues, high traffic. Let's see, 81% of Michigan bettors found their experience over the opening weekend of sports betting to be mostly positive.
Great.
New York issued a study or released a study by Spectrum Gaming. I always find these studies interesting, and it's the estimated states 4 commercial casinos and 3 Native American gaming tribes could take in more than $1 billion in online sports betting bets.
Yeah. I mean,
$100 million in taxes for state government. They're assuming 7 statewide online licenses. Now that's not what Cuomo wants.
All they have to do is look to the south of him and see what New Jersey's doing and see the numbers New Jersey's pulling in. And let me tell you something. A lot of those New Jersey numbers are coming from New York residents crossing the border and placing their bets. So New York stands to make a lot of money with sports betting.
Well, we'll see exactly what model gets passed. That's the problem. Got to wait and see with that one. Over in Australia, PointsBet, who we talked about earlier in the rundown, they have hired, or appointed, I guess is the right word, Shaquille O'Neal as their brand ambassador in Australia.
Great.
I don't know exactly Shaq's appeal over there. I would assume.
I'm sure he's a worldwide figure, so they should do well with him there.
And let's see, one other thing, Massachusetts has now introduced sports betting legislation again.
For the third year in a row.
Charlie Baker, the governor.
Yep. So that's the third year in a row, so I don't think it's going to happen.
He has introduced a bill that would ban betting on all college sports.
Wow. Okay.
And esports.
Okay.
The one interesting thing about the new legislation, the number of skins is going to be determined by the Gaming Commission. It's not set out in the law itself, in the bill.
Well, like I said, it's probably not going anywhere, but it's an interesting theory that he has. It's an interesting proposal, but we'll see where that goes, but I don't think it's going anywhere.
And Ohio's inching closer to passing sports betting. They just announced the formation of a gambling committee to explore gambling regulation issues in the state. It's one of those things where Ohio is almost like Massachusetts. They keep talking about getting closer and closer, but they never really pull the trigger on the deal.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens over in Ohio. And right now, since we're running out of time, last thing to mention, Betfred has signed Denver Broncos receiver Rod Smith to an exclusive marketing agreement, which will make him the ambassador for Betfred in Colorado. Smith will be interacting with Colorado sports bettors and fans on social media while participating in various online and offline promotions with the sportsbook in that state.
Great.
We had a whole bunch of other news stories to get to, but if we didn't have enough time here, we have them up on the blog. Go to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog, and you'll see these stories that we talked about and other little news and notes from around the country for sports betting up on the blog.
Well, that'll do it for us this week. If you're watching the Super Bowl, enjoy, and enjoy making some prop bets work out for you. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.